Like, what are we drinking? What are we drinking, Emma? Look at this. I never even looked. It's a product of Italy. Do they have grapefruits in Italy? Hi, welcome to the Great Margarita Hunt. I'm Jenny, and I'm on the hunt for the best margarita in the world. And today I really need one. But I'm not going to be drinking by myself. I have with me today, let me introduce you to Emma. Hi, Emma. I am so glad. So the background of this is we've spent like 40 minutes trying to get all the audio set up, which normally doesn't take that long. So thank you for being so patient with us today.
I don't mind at all.
Oh, well, thank you. So let's just get started. I found you on Instagram under Everyday Emma. Do I have it right?
Yes.
Everyday M. And I loved everything about you. I loved all your cute little reels and your sense of humor, and it just totally fit. In fact, I was sending some of it to friends of mine. They may have sent it to me too. I just know it was coming back and forth, and when they went like this, but I stopped at the Dr. Pepper Margarita. Absolutely caught my attention. Absolutely. I had never heard of such a thing. Now, was that a joke or not?
It was meant to grab attention. That was the main focus of it. But I actually thought it tasted very good. So
if I have a Dr. Pepper, we may try that too. But I really want to try this margarita that you're going to tell us about today. And this is the first time that I have ever tried Aperol, or if I have, somebody else was making a cocktail. And I didn't know it, so I'm excited to do this. And we have just a real simple, you gave us this recipe, and so we are going to call it Emma's Margarita. And I'm going to put it up on the screen real fast just for everybody else to see what we're going to do. We're going to use 2 ounces of Blanco Tequila. And then we're going to have 1 ounce of Aperol and fresh squeezed lime juice. And so we can use any tequila, I guess, right? So I'm going to let you show me how to make it. But I will say I'm using G4, and you're using which tequila?
Casamigos.
Casamigos. And we both have the Aperol. And what else do I need? Lime juice. You've got your lime. I did fresh squeeze. I always tell them fresh squeezed only. We did a video comparing different types of lime juice, and fresh squeezed only works every time. Okay, so how do you mix it?
Okay, so I start out with tequila in your cocktail shaker.
Here it is, cocktail shaker. Oh, this is the tight one. Okay, got it. Tequila in my cocktail shaker works for me.
Yes. So 2 ounces of your Blanco Tequila.
And it's a lovely sound. Just a little bit more there. Make sure it's happy. Okay, it's happy.
And then 1 ounce of Aperol.
And this, you said, has some sweetness in it. So I don't need to add any other sweetener to it.
Correct. I mean, if you like your margarita extra sweet, you could, but kind of like mine, a little tart.
Okay.
And then 1 ounce of fresh squeezed lime juice. I have not squeezed mine yet, so I'm just going to squeeze it right into the cocktail shaker here.
That's the right way to do it. I have it on good authority. We usually will, I'll squeeze one at a time, but sometimes I'm drinking in larger quantities, so I go ahead and use that electric juicer.
It's very smart.
Today is a day that I might be using larger quantities. Now, do you put anything on your glass, or you straight up?
If I'm drinking at home by myself, no. I just leave it plain because
that works for me.
Enjoy it. But
that works for me.
Just for a party, I like to use sugar, but it's really personal preference.
Yeah, I like sugar. Sometimes I like mixing it.
Yes.
So are we putting ice in the shaker?
Yes, add some ice to your shaker.
And are we putting ice in our glass
Correct, yes.
or just the ice in the shaker?
Put fresh ice in the glass.
Fresh ice in the glass. I'm using my hand now. I'm done with these tongs. There. Okay. So I've got ice in my shaker, and we're gonna shake.
Give it a nice shake.
I really want this margarita right now. I mean, I really want this margarita. Okay.
All right, and then strain it into your glass.
Oh, I like the color. And that filled my glass.
Pretty. Yes,
It is. It's a happy color.
it is. And you can garnish it with a lime if you want to, or leave it plain.
I like that idea. I actually have a lime here. I'm going to put lime on it. Just because I'm fancy that way, you know, Emma. I'm not. I'm not fancy. I'm fancy when someone else is doing it. Okay.
Yes, I feel that.
But I do like the idea of sugar on that too. Okay, ready? Salud.
Yes. Salud.
Ooh. I have to do that again. I really get to taste everything in that. It does have more tartness to it than I was expecting. But good. I like it. Doesn't it taste a little bit like a grapefruit margarita? No?
Sure, what the, oh goodness.
Like, what are we drinking? What are we drinking, Emma? Look at this. I never even looked. It's a product of Italy. Do they have grapefruits in Italy? I'm sure they do. They have lemons.
Probably do. They do have lemons.
Because they make limoncello.
Correct,
Right?
yes.
So we know, so that means, I think this is great. Now, how do you come up with the ideas for all these cocktails that you make?
I recreate, so not all of them are my recipe. This one, I believe I saw online, but it had a bunch of other ingredients, and I was like, let's just simplify this because it doesn't. I'm simple. I'm drinking cocktails in my own home. I don't want something super fancy, right? I want to be able to just use what I've got in my liquor cabinet and call it a day. So really, I just kind of played around with it until I liked it, and then shared it on socials. This was the first one that went viral. Which was exciting because I really liked it, so I was glad that other people did too.
Yes, that's awesome. How long ago was that? Do you know, roughly?
I think it was the beginning of this year. It was closer to the springtime, so maybe like March.
That's great. I had on a new friend. Like I said, we're making new friends. This is my favorite way to make friends is with a margarita in my hand.
Absolutely.
It is, and she's on Instagram as the Queen of Margaritas, and we were talking, and she said she'd watched someone else doing some things on Instagram and thought, I could do that, and I like margaritas, and she does a great job, but it was just funny when she was saying how there was just so much more involved than she had thought. There are all these people out there doing this, she thought it was a singular idea, and I'm like, I felt exactly the same way. I like, though, that you have some great margarita ideas, but you've also got other cocktails and afternoon wine drinking.
I spent a little bit of time in Europe, which is where I discovered my love for wine. So
yes.
That's kind of what started the whole Instagram thing. Was I shared a joke about writing drinking wine on my to-do list so I could mark something off for that day, and that kind of bloomed from there. So
that's great. So it wasn't you were just being you.
Yes.
Which is the best way. Way. I love the sense of humor. It's like never met in person, but I already know I would love in person hearing your sense of humor because I appreciate it. It's just very relatable and real.
Thank you. That's the goal.
I guess relatable and real go together.
Yes.
That was a profound thought I just had there. So tell me something. So how long have you been on Instagram?
Well, I've been on Instagram for probably like 4 or 5 years.
Okay.
But it didn't really start to grow until really last October. So coming up on a year, really.
Well, you've done really well. So obviously a lot of people enjoy what you're sharing with us, and that sense of humor and the cocktails and the recipes. I like it. So what is your favorite, what's the favorite drink you've made so far?
Obviously, the Aperol Margarita is one of my favorites.
Oh,
but I also made a tequila sunset, but did an Aperol sunset.
Ooh.
So that was a fun one. That one was actually very good. I also have made a limoncello margarita, and that one is also very good too.
I saw that.
Yes.
I saw that just recently. I was going back through and looking, and I thought, I'm going to try that. One of my favorite for the past year, and I know I lose track a little bit because we have missed some weeks, but we have more than 50 margaritas at this point. I don't know exactly how many because some weeks, we made 2 or 3. So some have been more successful than others. We kept it real. I don't usually try them. Well, I don't try them till I'm actually on camera. So that means we have had some epic fails. Some epic fails. Like some things you don't ever want to do.
Yeah.
Like I didn't spit it out because I was on camera. It was bad. But then we've also had some that were really good. And one of my favorite, besides just a basic Tommy's margarita with a really good tequila, was a lemon margarita, which was like a lemon drop, but a lemon. It was one of my favorite. It was really good. I keep thinking about that margarita too. So probably time to have another one. I think that's one of my favorite. So limoncello sounds really good, and the Aperol. And then what's your favorite wine?
Cabernet Sauvignon, girl. I love reds.
I like reds.
Yes.
So which vineyard do you like? Which winemaker?
Not very of winemakers. I do know I love European wines, so I really love Spanish wines, Italian wines.
Okay.
But there are a few from California that I like in the Napa Valley area. But for the most part, I'm not too picky. If it tastes good,
you'll go for it. Well, so I think this is how I know if it's good. If it's good, it means I would sip on it, regardless of whether I was eating something, like pairing or not. Because I learned that I can drink a lot of things through food pairing. I like food. But I've learned that some things taste very different, of course, when you're eating something. We went through some wine tasting and things, and that actually opened up a lot of these different things that I like to try now. And so I learned that. But if it's not very good red wine, it'll still be okay if you put M&Ms with it.
That I did not know that.
It's true. If you open up a bottle, as long as it's not vinegar, right? As long as it's not your favorite, get the M&Ms. I mean, you can also try salted caramels. Those will work. But I mean, you eat the M&M with the red wine, and it's all better.
Yeah,
so it'll help you it'll get you through a bad bottle.
Yes.
Yes. So, but back to tequila. Which I'm an equal opportunity afternoon mom, grandma drinker. So this, or evenings are good too for drinking. I'm going to have to figure out what else to do with this. I like this. I may have to try this again. I like this G4 I tried recently. One of the things the whole margarita hunt thing did for me was it opened me up to, tequila has been become very popular. Tequila and tequila tasting and learning all about tequila. And so I'm not an expert by any means, but I've learned a little bit. And so I finally, probably in the last 3 to 6 months, maybe a little longer, and through some of the people that have come on and shared their information with me who are more knowledgeable about tequila, that if I won't sip it and enjoy it, then I don't put it in a margarita. So I've raised my tequila, my agave standards have gone up.
Yeah. That's good to know. That's a good piece of advice there. I'm going to have to keep that in mind.
It's true. I've learned, and I can tell you that, well, I mean, I follow so many different people, but in addition to you, I follow you. But the ones that have the tequila expertise will recommend El Tequiliano. Comes, and it's really not very expensive compared to other bottles, and so that's a good one. I like, and they have a Reposado that's not very expensive that we enjoyed last night. And so just for an everyday margarita. But if I'm going to move it up just a little bit, I'll go to that G4 or Don Fulano or some other ones. So I've learned now those are ones that I would sip. I don't do a lot of sipping, but I would, and so that means it makes a better margarita for me, so I'm happier with it. But this, I think this is a good example of one that balances well, because Casamigos is a little sweeter than this G4 would be, and so it makes a difference how it tastes to you.
Always add
but I like
a little
this.
simple syrup or a little agave, about half an ounce if you wanted to. If you wanted it a little bit sweeter.
I like
brings
this.
out the flavors a little bit more too. So
yeah, but I like this. I think I like the way it blends. I mean, I've been trying to work on my descriptors. I read a comment or a little meme somebody had up the other day that smooth is not a descriptive term for tequila. Because I went, well, I'm guilty of that one. I say it all the time. Well, that's real smooth.
smooth, right?
And they're saying, well, that's called silicone or vanilla or something else they added to it. Oh, okay. I need to work on my vocabulary to be able to do proper descriptions. So what's something you haven't done on Instagram yet that you're planning on doing?
I have a few. So I have a random wine pairing that I want to share that I discovered at the movie theaters of all places. So
wait. How did you get the wine at the movie? Which movie theater was this?
It's one of our local, I believe it's the Cinemark brand.
So it's not like a studio grill. It's not a grill. So this is a purse wine.
Theater. Yes.
So
yes.
This is a purse wine.
Let me tell you, if you are not taking those little travel bottles of wine or even champagne into the movie theaters, you are doing it wrong.
And no one will notice when you pop that top.
Well, half the time they're screw tops now, so you can't even hear it. You just twist it off.
No pop to it.
Exactly.
That's funny. That's funny. I like it. So, in the old days, we had to hide a Coke and some, Reese's cups or something. Now we're going for the wine. I like that. Now the kids, this is in a kids movie too, right?
Well, actually, this one wasn't a kids movie because we went as a family. So my husband drove us, and I was like, well,
Designated driver to the matinee. Yeah, kids are having ices and popcorn, right?
Mama's
juice boxes.
Yeah.
Mama's having champagne. Share your orange juice. I knew I'd like you. I knew I would. Sounds like my thing. I remember a long time ago going to a movie just with my husband, and it was one of those movies I was doing as being a good wife to go to this movie, but I really didn't want to go because I knew it was the kind of movie I really didn't want to watch. And I had been on a business trip, and sure enough, I had some of those little bottles that they have on the airplane. And I had left them in my bag, so while we're in the movie, same thing. I figured it was my emergency supply. Because you never know whether or not they're going to want to stay. And I love that. That's a very good tip for mothers. We should do this hashtag mommy survival kit.
Yes.
Yes, and have the little bottle it's that Prosecco, right? Or which little bottle of champagne did you?
I'm blanking. I can't think of the brand.
That's okay.
I know they come in a little 4-pack, So you just,
That's what I was thinking, those little ones. So now that I know, because now back to tequila, when you go look for those little bottles, it's hard to find little bottles of tequila, of okay tequila. Like you have to get a bigger bottle.
Yeah.
So you'd have to go with, I don't know what the next size up before you get.
just get the small bottle and just stick that in your purse,
And they're going to wonder why I have limes, why I'm walking in with limes. And just throw some popcorn in it. You get the salt.
Yes.
Right? So you have the thing. That's fun. They're good to go. Well, this has been great. So I'm going to look for that wine pairing that you're coming up with. I'm going to do that, and we are going to post this basic Emma Margarita Aperol recipe. A recipe? Do I call it a recipe? It's a margarita recipe. I'm looking like I don't. It is a recipe. I like this. It's growing on me. I think, was this 2 ounces of tequila? Yeah, I like this.
A little more for you?
It might have been a little more. I like to pour with love.
Yes.
I learned to.
We measure with our heart over here, so.
We measure with our heart. That's right. I love it. So I hope we'll get to do this again. You have been so patient with me. I appreciate it. We had all those problems and technical things at the beginning, but we may have to do this again and do the Dr. Pepper one or the limoncello one or both. Okay?
We can do both, yes.
We could do both.
Yeah.
Pregnant pause. There was a pregnant pause. I didn't know if it was a delay. We are a couple of states away from each other.
Yeah.
So it could have been a delay or an Aperol delay. Well, thank you so much, Emma, for joining us today. I appreciate it. I'm going to enjoy the rest of this. And I am going to post this, and we'll put the link on it, too, for Instagram. And really appreciate it. Thank you so much. It's been a joy to meet you, and I really love following you.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for the invitation. I've had a lot of fun. So we definitely have to do this again.
Great. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
The hunt continues.